guys, welcome back to another video. So today's story time is a story time that was anonymously submitted through my Google Forms. If you guys want to anonymously submit your own form, look in the description down below and you can submit your own. This is very intense. I am going to put a TW, okay? Things like this, and this are going to be mentioned. So I just want to give a heads up so no one's surprised or triggered. I just wanted to make a quick little disclaimer as I usually do. I would really appreciate it if you could like, subscribe, click post notifications, share the video with anyone that might be interested in my content. It would really help me out. And please don't skip the ads. I am begging with all my life. And if you guys want to figure out how you can get a shout out, stay tuned for the rest of the video and you will figure out how to get a shout out. It could be in the middle of the video. It could be at the end. It could be a quarter. You never know. That's why you gotta watch the whole video to stay tuned. So let's get into it. This storytime title is I purposely got my best friend with a really horrible guy and I'm not upset about it. And I'm talking like this isn't just someone who's like, oh, he's a cheater. No, this is like really intense stuff. Like she could go to jail if her best friend knew what she got herself into. I was shocked while reading this story. Girl, you are messy. That's all I gotta say. I would not want you as a best friend. You should be a damn shame for what you did. So, her name is Hazel. She's 25 years old and she's a psychology major. Best friend, Madison, who's 24 years old, is or was a personal trainer. Not really sure what she's doing now. So, Hazel knew Madison in high school as one of the popular pretty girls. Need to grab a mirror. That's why I do this without a mirror. Hazel was actually always jealous of Madison. Like, I'm talking about Madison would get all the attention from all the boys. She was always deemed as pretty, always had boys at her feet. She would have lots of friends. Typical popular pretty girl in high school. And, you know, Hazel was like your typical, like, loser in high school. Like, I don't want to be vain and say it, but I mean, it is what it is. That's what she was. She didn't have many friends. She wasn't that pretty at the time. People would make fun of her, like, pretty bad. Like, I'm talking about they would call her pizza face. They would, like, whenever in the hallways, she was saying that people would always knock down her books and stuff. People would sometimes say racial slurs towards her because she was Asian, so you could just imagine what people were saying to her. So one day, apparently Madison decided to be friends with her. Pretty much, it kind of seemed like out of pity. Hazel was sitting one day by herself at lunch and Madison came up to her and be like, hey, like, I see like you're sitting by yourself. Why is that? And Hazel was like, how do you not know? You know, kind of being snappy, giving an attitude. And she was like, well, if you want to sit with me and my friends, like, feel free to. Or if you don't want to sit next to other people, like, you can just, you know, me and you can sit together from time to time. And Hazel was like, honestly, I would prefer the second one. And she was like, yeah, I understand completely where you're coming from. They pretty much started sitting together at lunch every day and they slowly became friends. Really, really close friends. Like, they would hang outside of school, you know, to the point where their parents would know each other and their parents got along. Like, they got close really fast. But one flaw that Hazel noticed about Madison was that she would never defend her. Whether she was getting bullied or anything like that, like, she would never go out of her way to defend her friend because she more so cared about her popularity. And this immensely pissed Hazel off. As I think it would piss anybody off, to be honest. Like, that's pretty valid. Like, you're my friend, you're supposed to be defending me. You know what I'm saying? But there was this one time where she was severely getting bullied, right? And it was so bad to the point where Hazel's head was pretty much being shoved into the toilet while she was getting racial slurs yelled at her, like the C slur for Asians, and much more I'm not going to repeat, but it was pretty disturbing to read. She was getting bullied pretty bad. It was extremely bad. Like, she should have defended her pretty much. But of course, after Hazel had ran out the bathroom in tears, wet, Madison chased after her and asked her what had happened. And Hazel was like, those girls were harassing me and they were bothering me and doing all these things to me. And Hazel had explained, like, yo, like, these girls just sat here and shoved my head down a toilet while yelling racial slurs and almost suffocated me to death. And it turns out Madison was actually friends with these people. And Madison was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, you need to do something about this. You need to report them. And Hazel was like, well, can you go and help me report them? Because I'm scared. And Madison was like, you know, kind of bullcrapping her, like, oh, you know, I don't really want to get involved with anything, blah, 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 blah. And that's pretty messed up if I say so myself. So, you know, Hazel was really upset and declared that she would get revenge on her because, you know, she realized that she was being fake and never really was a good friend to begin with. So flash forward, Hazel just pretends to be friends with her pretty much, and they end up going to college together. They go to a pretty good college, by the way. They go to like Yale or something like that. They were both obviously very smart girls. Madison just had one issue. Apparently her boyfriend Jeremy had broken up with her, so Hazel seized the opportunity to find her the perfect partner when in reality she had other motives. Okay, I managed to even out the foundation a little bit. Let's go. So I don't look crazy. So Hazel had to obviously think of a way to, you know, find out a really horrible guy that Madison could date as karma. But Hazel was an introvert. She didn't really talk to anybody much, so she decided to befriend the gossipers. So apparently one girl had a really bad experience with this guy named Matthew. I'm gonna be using this, and this. Okay. Hazel was like, oh, this is perfect. Like, this is a really guy. Girl was like, oh, like, my friend, she used to go to our college and she used to date this guy Matthew, but apparently one day she came in with marks and bruises and she would not explain what was wrong with her, and it was so bad to the point where she started acting out that she actually got kicked out of the college. And whenever she tried to explain what had happened to her, she would scream, he put his hands on me, he put his hands on me, and he forced me to do things that I didn't want to do in the first place. Hazel was like, there's no way that this girl, you know, actually like meant that, because apparently after the girl that was dating Matthew in the past had said that, she was brought to court for defamation of character and he had won because there was no actual proof that she had done any of these things to begin with. Hazel was like, he can't be that bad. That's what Hazel did next. She decided to sit here and contact Matthew after she was specifically told this and set them both up. I have no words. So one day she decided to say, hey, Matthew, like, you should go out with my best friend, Madison. She's really pretty. She's single. She recently dumped. And I really think you could share her senses. Matthew was pretty surprised, but he was pretty stoked overall. He was like, hell yeah, like, Madison's a beautiful girl and anybody in this entire world would be blessed to date her. Hell yeah, I'm dating her. So obviously Hazel was very happy that everything was coming to plan, but she did not expect what happened in the next few months to actually happen. So from what she was hearing from Madison, at first, Matthew was a pretty good boyfriend. He would always take her out on dates, be a gentleman, you know, do chivalry, like opening the doors for her, taking her to school every day, you know, leaving roses in her locker. And this kind of pissed Hazel off because, you know, it was like, damn, I thought this was supposed to be a bad guy. Did he end up actually changing, or were the rumors not true to begin with? And this girl actually really did get sued for what she deserved to get sued for. Then after some time, this is when he started showing signs of how he truly was. One day, Madison had came in and she looked like really upset for whatever reason. Hazel had gone up to her acting as if she cared, and she was like, hey, Madison, like, what's wrong? Like, why are you upset? And apparently Madison had caught him with another girl. And then when Madison had tried to confront him on it, she just said she was imagining things. And she was pretty upset about it because then flipped on her and was like, oh, like, you've had trust issues about your partners dating in the past. Like, when I tell you there's nothing going on with this girl, like, you need to trust me. And I'm telling you there's nothing going on with this girl. Madison felt as if she was stupid for looking out for herself and felt bad for how she treated Matthew. Hazel knew that this was wrong deep down inside, but she decided not to say anything because, you know, it would just go back to remind her about those times where Madison could have said so much to defend her and be a good friend towards her, but she didn't. But then apparently the next week, everything seemed fine with them and everything went back to normal. Hey guys, my lashes are gone, ignore that, but this is the random pop-up I was talking about. So if you want the shout out, I want you to comment down below avocados with I didn't skip the ads, or just type in avocados and I didn't skip the ads. Also, it's time for the shout outs. So the first person I'm shouting out is Zero. Thank you so much for not skipping the ads. Gamer Girl, thank you for not skipping the ads. And Alina Flores, thank you so much for not skipping the ads. Obviously, people in this video didn't comment down below what I said to comment in the other thing of not skipping the ads, but I guess they didn't get the concept. It's okay. Yeah, if you want to shout out, just make sure to follow those steps. Say you didn't skip the ads, and don't forget to put the emoji or, you know, the word of the emoji that I'm stating, and enjoy the rest of the video. Bye-bye. One day, and I'm being really bad because, you know, one day, Madison had to come in with a bunch of marks on her face, on her neck, and on her shoulders. They weren't bruises, but, you know, they were marks. And, you know, inside of Hazel's head, she was like, oh crap, like, is this actually happening? Like, is this like another part 2 of what had happened to this girl? Like, is he really like as violent as people claim that he was? But she still decided not to say anything out of fear and frustration. She really wanted to stick by her idea of, you know, she did this to me and didn't say anything when I was in need, so I'm gonna do the exact same thing to her, which is pretty messed up in my opinion. And obviously people from school saw that this was happening to Madison, but no one said anything because 1, they were scared of being taken to court like the other girl was. And 2, people didn't really care enough because Madison was surrounded by fake people who only cared about popularity and didn't really genuinely care about her as a friend. Hazel was low-key happy that this was happening to her, but at the same time, she kind of felt guilty. She didn't mean for it to go this far. So then 3 weeks later, the craziest thing happens, and this really changes Hazel's mind about everything and gives her a change of heart. So Madison had actually gone missing for about 3 weeks, and nobody knew where she was. Everyone kept asking Hazel, hey, where's Madison? Where's Madison? Have you heard anything about Madison? And Hazel was like, I don't know. I haven't heard anything from her. And this actually started to scare Hazel a little bit because she was like, dang, like, why is she missing? Was she killed? But luckily, she wasn't. Madison ended up appearing on Hazel's doorstep and was begging her for help. Madison, you need to help me. He was keeping me hostage in his basement for a couple of days. I don't really know what to do. You need to help me. And Hazel was like, okay, I'll help you, because she was terrified out of her mind and she didn't want it to go this far. So after that, it turns out Madison had recorded some footage on her. Like, she got this jewelry that had cameras on it to record the way he was speaking to her. And she was actually wearing the necklace the entire time that she was hostage in the basement to back up what she was saying. Madison and Hazel together went to Madison's parents because obviously Madison needed the emotional support. And she was like, hey, like, this is what had happened. And her parents were furious. Like, her parents were very, very, very upset. Hazel was like crying with Madison because she was really scared for her and she did not expect any of this to happen. To Madison to get treated like crap, but she didn't expect him to like keep her inside of his basement for like a couple of days. Like she had no idea that this was happening. After that, Madison had actually took him to court and won against him in court. He was charged with a lot of things that Madison had not told Hazel out of embarrassment. He was charged with assaults, sexual assaults, battery. So like it was intense. There were so many things that she had successfully charged him with due to her being smart and, you know, recording everything that was happening. So after, you know, Hazel had saw this happen, like, she had vowed to protect Madison and, you know, to never do something like that to her ever again. And their friendship actually grew more, you know, because Madison's sitting here thinking, oh my God, like, she's such a good friend. Like, she was there for me and I was never there for her. And Madison had actually apologized for what she had done in the past. So, you know, she's over here saying, oh my God, she's like such a good friend. Like, you know what I mean? She gave me all the support, but she didn't know that Hazel was the one that had set her up. And, you know, Hazel felt really bad, but she decided to never tell her because, 1, she was guilty, and 2, she vowed that, you know, as an apology to Madison, she would just sit here and be a good friend to her and protect her and do what she was supposed to do in a friendship. I guess that's her way of an apology. I don't... Guys, so this is the final look. The foundation still looks very darker in person compared to my chest. I'm not really liking that, but I love how this eyeshadow palette played out. I love the blush. I love the lip. Everything, it's so nice. But yeah, what do you guys think of that story time? Personally, I think it's messed up. And it's definitely going to give me some trust issues with people that I make friends with down the line that are sending the evil eye and don't want anything good to genuinely happen for you. That is scary. Like, it really goes to show that you really don't know who has the best mind or who has the best out for you in your life. And this really goes to show, like, you really need to be careful and trust your gut about who you have in your life, because then stuff like this could happen. Like, they could be the death of you, quite literally. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, I would really appreciate if you guys could like, subscribe, hit the plus notification button, maybe share with some friends that may enjoy the story time, or maybe if you find it shocking, they'll find it shocking with you. Just sharing in any way, shape, or form really does help. If you want to submit your own story time or confession, whatever it may be, comment, like, look in the description down below and click the confession link. I would appreciate if you could check out my other links as well, like if you want to know where certain products I get are, certain headband products, anything like that. And yeah, I'm very disturbed by the story time again. But I will see you guys the next time I upload a story time. Bye-bye. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum.